Yeah. If I die tomorrow, I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no syrup. Hope the future generations can get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
Really love how excited we all are in those clips. Like those are like best. Like, let's go.
Yes, the last clip with me is doing the "We Are Here" after watching My Hero.
Yeah,
after watching that was a good time.
Well, we are here. We are live on a Tuesday.
We are live on a Tuesday. There is no show that we are recapping yet. There is a
soon cometh.
To our co-host's dismay, there is a huge event happening on Thursday. You want to tell us about that event, Law?
No, absolutely the fuck not. Listen, it's huge for some people, not huge for others. Listen, some people, you know.
So anyway,
we're not doing this. We're not doing this shit.
I'm just listen. We are doing it because it is a 4-hour cinematic event that is known as the Justice League.
I got fucking outvoted for this fucking garbage.
Yo, it is a cultural event. Everyone and their mother will be talking about this.
Fuck you. Endgame was a cultural event.
No. I'm not talking about the fact that the movie itself is a cultural event. I'm talking about like the fact that we had a movie and then people believed that this cut existed and there was a campaign for it. And then Zack Snyder was like, yeah, there's a cut. And then AT&T was like, well, we need to make money on HBO Max. So what's the best way we can do this? Let's cash in on the Snyder cut. And we are getting that on Thursday. I don't know. It's insane. It is insane.
Well, aside from that, I mean, we are going to cover it next Tuesday. But there are some announcements I got to make. Sebastian's announcement corner. So first of all, next Tuesday is going to be an interesting day because we are not going to only be starting a little bit later than what we normally do, but we will also be guests on the Hashira podcast. So you're going to see us not once, but twice on Tuesday on someone else's show and on our show. So make sure you guys follow so we can give you those links. And if you don't know who the Hashira podcast is, go back and check out our episode we did on March 3rd. That was an awesome episode. Live, we got to talk to them and we got to shoot the shit. Also, too, drum roll, please. I just want to show this fun character right here. Let us go.
Oh, man. These announcements, or are you just patting yourself on the back?
Meduska's Cascade Chronicles. It is the Constable. He is here. He is here.
Yes,
the
he
fucking
is.
Arc of Arcs, man.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. It's Law's favorite character.
Fuck that guy.
Well, shout out to both man for the art right here.
Listen, I love the art. I love the character as like oh man, he's good. Law loves him. Zax hates him. Hates his guts.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, indeed.
So make sure we are back. Yeah, as of last Saturday, we dropped the mid-season comeback and whatnot, and left you guys hanging.
Midwinter premiere,
right.
The false spring premiere, since the weather was really nice, and then all of a sudden, winter came back. Yeah,
winter is coming. And winter,
I'll be telling people they'll get hype off of that false like first spring where it was like, oh my gosh, it's so nice outside. I'm like, yeah, keep that energy for 3 days, but it's going to last for only 3 days.
It was worth it. We did a hike and we did a barbecue.
100% worth it. I'm just like, it was 20 degrees the day after, so. Just saying.
Yo. Speaking of barbecue,
just to let people
I made like these fucking killer wings. Like Jackie seasoned them. And then I threw those bad boys on the grill. You can tell. You can ask Seabass. Seabass was like, "Yo."
He showed me the pictures, and I was so sad. I was just sad. Like, listen, you guys have to understand that once you guys move to Jersey, and now you guys do Jersey shit, I feel so excluded. I'm just like, all right, cool. Fuck myself then.
Well, the other thing too, I just want to apologize. Our guest is running late today, so we actually are going to have Chris Carter from Global Comix on. So we're just waiting for Chris. But at the same time, just wanted to also again give some more announcements. So as you saw, that was the Constable from our D&D campaign by Beyond. You will be able to learn more about the D&D campaign because our dungeon master, the creator of the campaign that we're in, Tommy Lapiari, will be on Get in Tune next Tuesday, the 30th, actually. So he will be live with Michael Gracia, and they will be talking about their creativity of this world that he has created.
The 23rd or the 30th?
The 30th. That's why I corrected.
That's 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from
2 weeks from now. So
I had to look at my calendar. I was like,
yeah.
What?
I was like, wait, I got shit due for work.
Time out. We smash it.
Yeah. But yes, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, you will see him and Get in Tune. So make sure you subscribe to Michael Gracia's channel.
Him and Turt's recap episode is this week. So if you guys want to catch him on the Collateral Recap show, he will be on the Medusa's Cascade Collateral Recap this Thursday.
So while we are waiting for Christoper, I mean, I wanted to cover globalcomix.com. You guys can actually check out the link. Global Comix. It is a online web source where you can actually find various comics from publishers, indie scene, as well as independents, creators. It is a
repository of indie comics just at your fingertips. It is a dope platform
that you can actually check out independent comics, independent creators, independent publishers. I want to give it up for the CEO and founder, Chris Carter. Chris.
Hey, man.
Hey,
thank
Chris.
you for having me. And so my apologies for hopping on late. I had an emergency with my infant that I couldn't actually run away from. And
No worries.
I'm so sorry.
Worries. I have two upstairs that I feel are gonna break down the ceiling and Plash is gonna fall on my face.
Things did break. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Listen, we're happy to make it again. Figure something, Again, we're a family show. Come on, we are all family tone. That's what we understand, brother. Again, I figured since there was no answer, something had happened, I was going to reach out to you. But again, I thank you for coming on because, again, I wanted to talk about this awesome platform because, again, you put out a big, awesome platform, and I want you to tell us its origin story of Global Comix. How did it become funded? What got you into comics? Start off from there.
Yeah, man. So Global Comix is something that I've been working on, literally, since 2015. I didn't know how to code. I taught myself how to code because I wanted to build a comics platform that had all of the world's comics. And I'll tell you why I wanted to do that. I grew up in Norway. I've lived in France. I've lived in Germany. I've moved, 5 different countries at this point. And every time I moved, I had to walk away from series and stories that I really enjoyed, that I could only get because I was local in some country. And that sucked, And so Global Comix, for me, was this embodiment as a reader I want to be able to get things from France. I want to be able to get things from the US. I want to be able to get things from Japan, manga, manhwa, Korea, China, etc. And it also kind of combined with this idea that the gig economy is being proven out. There's platforms like Fiverr, and there's platforms for like Patreon. There's platforms where people can actually make a decent living. And I looked at that, and I looked at what was happening in the music space and what was happening in the streaming space. And there's places where people can actually make a decent living. People being creators and being production teams or studios or publishers. And I look at comics, and there's a hole there. Like, where do you go as a comic creator and actually make a decent living off of your stuff online? And so, like, marrying this concept of, I think that there's a lot of really great stories being created by people everywhere that doesn't reach the audience that they deserve, with making a platform that has the tool set and the capabilities for creators to actually like make money off of that, and for fans to engage with those creators and to become kind of like build these circles around themselves of super fans and engaged fans and kind of hobby fans, but people that are all in this universe of, I wonder what's going to happen next. Man, that thing, did you see the thing that happened in that chapter? Holy shit, that was so cool. Right? Like,
yeah.
I wanted to create that as a single destination. And so, a lot of things came together, and coding was learned, and a lot of mistakes were made over the course of the years of prototyping internally. And eventually, I had enough of a product where I thought, all right, well, let me find 100 creators online. Let me see if I can get them to, tell me what they think. What works, what doesn't work, what do you really want, what do you really need, etc. And it just kind of started from there. And that was, back in February of 18 or so, where we actually went live with monetized publishing for folks.
Well, I want to
amazing.
Yeah.
I do want to show off the site to everyone. Here we go. So this way they can actually check it out here. Here we go. So this is the Global Comix website. So this is the opening landing page when you go there. And look at all these titles that you have here. I mean, you and the team have built up a library with various creators and publishers here. I mean, how many
authors and writers, the creators are you working with right now?
I mean, so working with is kind of an interesting question. How many exist on Global Comix? There's a lot of people that exist that haven't tried to become part of the active creator sphere. Like we have a Discord chat that we help people out and we work with creators, and then we try to find a lot of interesting new stories and promote and feature on a weekly basis. But there's thousands of creators at this point, ranging from the complete and utter newbie, hey, I want to learn how to draw, I made a couple of panels, what do you think, kind of experience, all the way up to,
I recognize Jorge's.
right here.
Wonder Dog, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the way up to, pretty credible publishers like AWA or...
No, you have what was it? You have some great credible publishers that are there too. I mean, your platform pretty much houses like books that are from like Tidal Wave Productions, which has the Lou Ferrigno's comic called Liberator. Darkfire Press, which again we know George Medina, which is also with J.M. DeSantis, Wonder Duck, and even small groups of people that like Zebe, who has a following. She's self-published. What are some of the ups and downs you've had to go through when building this library of comics? What were some of the the takes and everything, and what was some of your favorite accomplishments?
Oh man, I'll tell you, like the hardest thing, the absolute hardest thing of building Global Comix really is getting in front of people that have content, whether it's a creator or a publisher, doesn't really matter. And like having them believe that like, hey, we have something you're interested in. There's many different reasons, right? Like folks that have been around in the industry for a longer period of time have gotten burnt by, platforms have come and gone. And a lot of folks that have come into this from like a platform perspective, they've promised unrealistic expectations, right? Like it's, oh, put your money on here and you will make just a shitload, or rather put your content on here, you will make a shitload of money just by having it there, right? That's not how it works. It's not how it works on YouTube. It's not how it works on Twitch. It's not how it works on Spotify, right? Like, in order to become successful, you actually have to put in some work. You have to learn some marketing. You have to like put yourself out there and build your own audience, right? Like, yes, being on a platform and being featured certainly can help with that. But you should never make that your expectation of being, the primary way that you get an audience. Like if you do that, then you're going to be let down no matter where you go, whether webtoons or it's Comixology or it's, whatever. And I think the reason why, like, I mention all of that is our first convention that we went to as Global Comix as a team was C2E2 of last year.
And that's where you met Johnny. Right.
And that's where I met Johnny.
Also, shout out to Johnny who like jumped in real quick.
Yes, he did.
Man, I love that guy. He is one of the funnest people that I met at C2E2. We had a lot of drinks afterwards.
Love you, brother.
But so like we went to C2E2, and the thing that C2E2 proved to us was we could go up to creators and go out to publishers and we can say, you know what, like, tell me your top 3 pain points of publishing comics online. And they'd list, something like it's hard to use, it takes a long time to get your catalog online, and I don't have any control over kind of when it shows up and what it looks like. And so for us, we were able to say, okay, well, do you have 2 minutes? Yeah. And I'd take my phone out and I'd take a PDF from my iCloud drive and I'd drag it into the page in my browser. And it would just upload, extract, and be fully ready and be ready to hit publish in like 2 minutes and say, this is our product. And we also give you like all of these other tools of analytics and data capture that you don't get anywhere else. Are you interested in talking more with us? Because we have something here that we think is really cool. That moment was the moment where folks were like, oh, yes, we are interested in like having a conversation with you. You're not just someone coming here blowing smoke up our ass type of situation. And that was a huge up. We were like, this is so cool. This is great. We need to go to so many more conventions and get in front of people. And then we get home and we learn, oh, Emerald City is canceled. And oh, right, COVID. And shit.
Yes.
And so, you know, like we needed to adapt, and our entire strategy of how do we get our product in front of folks that benefit from it went entirely out the window. You know, from what we'd learned, worked the best. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I said continue talking because I want to show people too again this interface you have here. Obviously, because again, it's a great interface you guys have.
But you know, just to comment on, you know, while the pandemic kind of shut down all of the conventions, unfortunately, your elevator pitch for Global Comix is like top notch. Like people would want that type of elevator pitch because you get the 2 minutes of time, but it's not just you spewing something. It's I've learned like the best elevator pitches are just being able to give the person something tangible for them to remember. And the thing that you get from yours is that you take a file, you throw it up in the site, and it's ready to go. And the fact that you built that up from the ground up, you're able to find a need in your industry for a number of people to just make this thing blow up. And I think that was, you know, you clearly are making something, you know, ahead of its time. And especially adding in the whole option of people tracking data, because I was kind of looking at your different plans and stuff. And because data is such a big thing in the industry, sort of, you know, nowadays, that you're just providing that for them. Understanding data analytics, going into Google Analytics, kind of tracking all that stuff. There's a huge learning curve if you don't know that, and you're giving that to them or showing them how to do that.
You're absolutely right. I was having a conversation with someone who asked me, I think it was a friend who's been working in kind of the ad tech space where they used to tracking, etc. Mm-hmm. And you know, he's asking me like, well, one of the things that we've found the hardest, he said, is whenever we come up with a new set of data, we need to educate people on what does this mean to them? Why is it important? And I've learned a little bit, you know, that like, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the digital platforms that have been available for comics for the past decade, including the biggest one right now, provide zero data and zero insights. And so like, you know, I built up an analytics engine that is comparable to what you would get on other media platforms, video and Facebook and whatever, right? Like with acquisition sources and traffic and conversion rates and like all of these things. Mm-hmm. And then I put that in front of someone in the comics industry that hasn't had any experience from other media. And it's kind of like, you know, okay, I just gave an Uzi to a rabbit. Now what exactly is that rabbit going to do with it, right? It's a little bit like that. And so, you know, and that's not at the fault of the comics industry or of the creators, of the publishers. It's the fault of the rest of the industry, right? Like it just hasn't followed into the 21st century in a good way.
And this is one of the analytic tools that you have for the site for the creators right here, right? This is just an example of one.
So there's two parts to our analytics engine. You can integrate directly with Google Analytics. So you get all of Google Analytics' tools and demographics and like information that they have on website traffic directly for all of your content. And that's not just your readership. That's visits to your profile pages and your comic pages and like add to favorites and like all of these things. And then we have the Global Comix analytics, which is specifically around readership. I don't know. Is it possible for me to share my screen here? I can.
Yeah.
I can bring something up. Give me just one moment. Let me log in.
And I was trying to show people earlier, again, how easily, when he was speaking earlier, it's easy to transition from panel to panel. That was a book by, that was the comic by, and we want to give him a shout out, Jason Malcolm. It's the comic called World of Fighters. And it was just easy how smooth the transition is from page to page. And I love that you were able to capture that.
Oh man, I can show you how that is set up too, actually.
Oh yeah.
Cool. So do y'all see the screen here?
All right, there we go.
There you go. Yeah. So I'm gonna hop into the profile for one of our favorite friendly creators, Ironverse, who's given us permission to actually use his analytics to show off in public. Otherwise, I wouldn't be bringing up someone else's profile. So when I hop into his profile, there's really 3 sections as an admin of a page. Why is this taking so long? There we go. There's the settings. So you have, you can set up promo codes and licensing and manage your revenue and payouts, and even have multiple accounts on a specific page. So if you wanted to, you could have other people be part of this with different access levels. Meaning, it could add you as a contributor, and you could manage uploading content but not change finances. There's the analytics, and then there's the comics management. So on the analytics section, there's really kind of 4 basic sets of information that we give. It's about readership, it's about revenue, it's about engagement, and it's about notifications. So notifications is when you have followers and you put new content out. They get alerts. We send emails about it, and we send platform notifications. We'll actually tell you the information of that as you publish things in real time. Now, this is only the last 30 days of snapshot, and you could go in and look at the timeline view of everything. But I'm gonna focus on page reads and releases for this demo. And so what you see here is kind of like the last 30 days of readership on his particular comic. It's grouped by day, and below here you can actually see the acquisition sources of where all of the traffic is coming from. For example, he'll know that a link on Reddit sci-fi post on January 25th generated 9 readers and 80 page reads. If
Chris, I gotta say, I fucking love this.
So right now, as a kid in a candy store, he's like, yes.
Sorry, keep going. I just had to tell you. I'm sorry.
This is what he really nerds out about.
Yeah.
If I were to bring this into kind of like an all-time for him, I think he joined in December, so there's not that many months. And I've actually done it like an interval by monthly instead of daily. So we're not ending up with, hundreds of little dots here that you can't see on the screen. Then you can see that when you are actively promoting yourself, and we were helping promote him specifically in December and January on Reddit, like he got a lot of readers, right? Like he got 3,000 readers and 20,000 page reads in a single month for his title. And I can tell you where the majority of them came from. Like there was a very, very successful post on Reddit sci-fi community that generated, 2,300 people that were reading his content. And
That's
he was
actually
using this as part of the promotion for his Kickstarter. And when people would come into his comic and read through, at the end, they'd be notified, like you can actually get this. My Kickstarter is running from this and this date, etc. And so he was using Global Comix as a tool to drive folks to the Kickstarter, but also he found the market fit with the sci-fi community that his content was performing really well. Like they liked it a lot. You can draw, you know, like as an example, other places that it has been shared did not have as high conversion rates. But dig this, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, you think this is cool from a nerding out perspective? The releases analytics is what I love the most. What this chart shows you is page 1 through 27, and it shows you the readership flow as how people drop off or where people come in. And so if I expand this into an all-time view, his first chapter here had 1,800 readers, 1,700-ish. And the amount of people that went all the way to the end are about 132. It depends a little bit on the story and when where you share. But so that's where being able to like see, I shared it on Reddit, on this subreddit, I shared an email, I shared it on Twitter, etc. Which channels perform the best from an audience match, right? Like, so if you have a story that has certain themes and has certain parts to it, you know, it's darks, noirs, whatever, sci-fi, it's time travel, there are audiences, there are places where those audiences exist, and sharing in those places perform well. And then maybe going to a Disney subreddit or a Disney community and you share it and you're like, nothing actually happens, right? Like you don't get anyone converting. But this is the aggregate, and you can filter by all of this information below. And so you can see the efficacy of when you're sharing, when you're promoting, when you're getting people into your content. But you can also see, you know, how many people actually went to the end. Those are your hardcore fans. And you can actually message and communicate with them, and you can like build your following this way using Global Comix. The green line here is the amount of time that people spent per page. And so, you know, like certain pages just have really, really long time. So people are like,
I think this is fantastic because I've never seen this done for indie comics.
Yeah, this is like essentially you're seeing like a conversion funnel, right? Like you've got all the people with your, you know, starting on the page 1, and then as you had said, Chris, like people who get to the end of your page, that's like your conversion. That's like where you want to hit those folks. Those people are like really into your content, you know. It's like this is beyond what I like.
I don't think I've seen this.
Yeah,
ever. This is not stuff that you see like, you know, not just with the indie scene, but this is stuff that you just don't see ever, really.
But what's really cool, you know, and I know, you know, looking at, you know, your FAQs and stuff, like how the people who create own their thing. This is information that if they decide, if they want to pitch to like a bigger publisher or something like that, this is full-blown cold hard evidence that their piece is being read, and they can share like, hey, it's not just word of mouth blowing smoke up your ass that I've created this. I've got data, I've got numbers that people read my stuff and we can do something with it. And this is an invaluable tool if folks really, you know, get down dirty and know how to use it.
Yeah, exactly. And emphasis on that last part of your sentence. If people know how to use it, that's the biggest challenge of something like this. And, you know, we're trying to educate, but we also, we need to level everyone up together. This is definitely a rising tide lifts all boats kind of situation.
But you guys do that there too, because that was one thing that caught me. It was actually something that you just released recently, which is on because you have a community section on the website, and it's like a blog section, and one of it was a wrap up about a Kickstarter. So, and then you have also the Discord server, which I see that you're always very, very busy on announcing all the new updates and everything. But again, I see the community aspect there of you guys trying to teach and everything and all that, and I think that that's just fantastic, and want more indie creators on this.
Yeah, I mean, Gamal is our official head of education, as it were, head of content, general counsel. Gamal Hennessy is the author of the book, The Business of Independent Comic Book Publishing, which was a successful Kickstarter. And he's worked tirelessly. I think now there's like some 30-something articles that he's posted on helping creators learn about everything from, let's see, let me go into like the community section here. Everything from, you know, crowdfunding to financing to all the way to finding your right audience, creating a budget for making a comic book. You know, he's taking all of this content that he put into his actual book, and he's summarizing in a way that is accessible to folks online. And it's really like, this education piece isn't just about, oh, we have a cool analytics tool. It's a mindset of like, okay, well, how do I treat this systematically? How do I look at this with a process? How do I go in with knowing what I need to do? There's 10 steps. I'm currently on step 3. What are all the parts of that? How do I get to the end of this? And then rinse, repeat, right? Like from a making comics perspective, there's so much more to it than just writing the story and drawing the pieces of art, right? Like there's building a brand and marketing yourself and getting it in front of people and all of these other aspects. I think,
but you also have another board. No. You also have another board there too with talent and everything, which I also caught my eye because, again, you have services like people go, oh, go to Fiverr, go to here, but as independent creators, we never really know where to go. And this is the section that I'm glad we pulled it up right there. I had it ready to go to. I mean, this. Again, this is fantastic. It's a section where creators can go and actually hire each other. What led to the creation of this? What was some of the trial errors and all that? What was some of the feedback that you were getting on this, and how does it differ from your average Fiverr and Upwork and all that? That's all out there for people trying to take advantage of independent creators. Because again, I'm looking at this stuff and I spent hours just looking at that all day. I was like, dude, this is fantastic for us creators. Please give us the rundown.
So there's a couple of different parts to this. I have a very active Discord, and I have a lot of creators in the Discord chat. And you know, I'd ask them, what are the things that you do as part of being a creator online? And one of the things people say is like, well, I need to make a little bit of extra money from time to time, so I freelance. Okay, cool. How do you find projects? Well, I post on Facebook groups, and I sometimes post on Reddit, and I actually get some gigs from Twitter and sometimes from Instagram. And I'm like, well, wait, there's not a one destination. What about places like Fiverr? Well, it's an expectation mismatch. Like first of all, it's not for comics, and also it's for like very specific kind of projects, and it's also focused on lowest possible bid, right? Like for the most part, that's why it started. The name of the brand is Fiverr. This is something that you can get done for $5. Like that's how it started, and so like. But it's more than just kind of, you know, finding a gig to get paid for. It's finding people to collaborate with. I saw a lot of posts. I think I'm a member of something like 30 different Facebook groups where comic creators are in. And the number one thing that I see people post about is their Kickstarter. The number two thing that I see people post about is I'm looking for X. And that I'm looking for X seemed like if Facebook groups and Reddit subreddits and Twitter and Instagram is the go-to place for people to do that, it doesn't seem like there's actually a location that is like focused on doing that well for comic creators. Like if those places are the best places people can think of, then there's not a tool that's focused on doing that well, in my opinion. And so Talent Marketplace really kind of came from that, but also living into our ethos, right? Like I was saying earlier, we want to help creators be successful. And being successful means, yes, it means making money off the comics that you already make, but it's also, there's more to it than that, right? Like there's finding an audience, there's finding people to work with and collaborate with, there's finding ways to like, you know, offer yourself for hire, put your skills up, be discovered, right? Like all of these things that are integral for creators to build their name and build their brand and feel great about what they're doing. This just fit 100% into that ethos. We want to help creators be successful, find people that they can enjoy working with. The talent marketplace kind of came about. We haven't actually announced it yet. We'll be announcing it officially in April. And there's a couple pieces that aren't yet, like part of the offering. I'll tell you a little bit about what it is. But here's what the talent marketplace is. There's two things that you can do here. You can find people to collaborate with, or you can offer yourself for hire. Seeking people or for hire. You can filter all of these posts by roles, so advisors, artists, colorists, inkers, pencilers, writers, etc. By reward type, free, paid per page, flat rate, ownership, revenue share, and then like by production outputs. So like, for example, you're looking for character design. There are folks that are listing that specifically, and you would know, kind of, oh, who's this person? Let me see about this. And so you kind of get a little bit of information about who they are, and they've maybe put up some example work, etc. And maybe they put some rates. This might not be as realistic depending on their experience level, but at least what we're providing here is a snapshot into what people's capabilities are and what their experience is. So if I now wanted to hire this person, we've built this tool where I can specify, I want to hire you to be an artist, and I want you to do some character design for me. And I'll write a little bit about this. And when I hit submit application, they get a little notification on that. The back end of that, I'll go down to I made the original demo post at the bottom here. If I just scroll down, unannounced, so
you can't even find a demo. Yeah, but that means
that many. There we go. So if I click into this guy, right, and I look at the managed listing, you have your analytics here too, and you have your acquisition information in the same way that you have on Comix. So if you're linking this on Twitter and you're linking it on Facebook, etc., you can see where people came from in order to like apply to hire you. We have an applications view that we can see by people that actually applied. Get some information about the person that applied, what they wanted to get done. If they're not lazy like Eric when he was writing his example demo here, he would write more than 3 words. You can see, kind of their resume. And if I take one that hasn't been declined, like this other demo example here, I can start a conversation with the person. And I'll have a private conversation with them, and it'll actually like show up, and you can go back and forth and get all of the details before you decide, do I want to accept or reject the person, right? And so in this case, I could say accept and then close the role that they applied to, or I could decline it entirely, and then that would be that, and they'd be notified.
Okay.
And so this is kind of like where it is right now. Some of the last pieces that we want to add before we officially announce it is for people to be able to subscribe to alerts. Like, I want to know when people are posting this type of post with these reward parameters. Tell me, right? Like, it's kind of like, in the past day, 52 people posted and offered job as talent writer, or, something. And the other is that we've found a good partner for folks that actually have successful applicants to get free consultations for legal and contract advice. And so we want to like build that into it so that, if you go through this process in Global Comix, you get a free consultation and a discount on like actual writing contract that's completely custom, or you could use like one of these pre-made templates, depending on the type of role, etc.
So the next question I want to go into too is that you guys also have membership plans as well for like your publishers and the creators right there. If you want to go into details on the membership plans, because I was looking at that screen.
Really
Like
quick
pricing.
before we go to the membership stuff. So for the talent marketplace, does a person have to have created a piece on Global Comix or been a publisher, or is it open to anyone as long as they create an account?
It's open to anyone that has created an account. This particular person happens to have also created their own creator page. This person here, let's see, also happened to create a creator page. And this person over here did not.
Nice.
Now, you can see a theme there, right? Like, for Global Comix, it is actually a good way for creators to discover our platform. Because we're offering a value proposition or like a tool and a service that isn't available elsewhere. And it introduces people to Global Comix as, oh, there's this thing for us as a creative community. But it's not actually required at all. It just helps a lot, from a credibility perspective. If you have a lot of really great art on Global Comix, then,
Nice. Cool.
Again, I'm just loving when Johnny C was like, you gotta check this out. It's like it just fell in love with the website and everything. And it's all like all the times, and then all of a sudden seeing like all people who I know in the creative field, in the indie comics field, have a lot of comments. And they're like, one of our guests tomorrow, Jared Brown actually has his book on your site, Advent Dark. And so we're going to be talking to him tomorrow. And again, it's just the amount of creators you have on this site, I think is just fantastic, and publishers. And then again, these tools and all that, just seeing that there. I mean, as you see, if Tony fanboyed out, it's just awesome. But yeah, I mean, I want you to get like yep, there it goes. Jared will be on tomorrow. Let's get the Kickstarter funded for that. He's a great guy. He's awesome, dude.
You see this, Jared? If you're watching this, I have a little heart and favorites on your stuff, man. All good.
But yeah, I mean, tell us how the memberships works for, again, as I was looking at that on the site, it's for the Global Comix creators plans and pricing. And again, I just wanted to get into details on that.
So that we're actually working on revamping that as it stands. But like I can bring it up here. Let's see. That would be this page right here. So there's basically like two tiers that you care about. There's free and professional. And this has actually been updated because we're in the process of revamping this entire like subscription setting for creators. So I don't really want to talk too much about it other than that I'm going to say we've moved multi-language comics publishing to the free tier. We've moved unlimited team members to the free tier. We've moved customizable roles and permission to the free tier. We moved promo codes and campaigns to the free tier. And we're reworking what this professional thing is.
That is amazing.
I mean, even that, just covering what you did, I still like, and just like how I said, that's amazing. Like, everything that you're providing, and even in just the free tier alone, again, and Michelle even said it too, you don't see this in many other platforms. And I think you guys have created an awesome platform from indie comics creators. I'm now owe Johnny C a few beers for this because, he's like, you got to check it out. You got to check it out. You got to check it out, Capalder. You got to check it out. I was like, yes. And then, I don't know, we geeked out with looking at the website, and then just everything you just covered today, giving us that view of the site. It's a blessing to have the site built for creators out there and what you and your team are doing.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Like, it really means a lot. And I really, really, it's easy to say, I really want all the creators in the world to see this, right? You could make that case. Oh, of course I want them because I made it. But no, I really thought about things that you need. I really want to help you guys. Like, that's my motivation for wanting this to come in front of people. It's because I think that the comics industry as a whole can benefit from it. I think the creators can benefit from that. And ultimately, if we can create a sustainable business and ecosystem and collaborative environment and discoverability tool for readers, who won't love that, right? Like, isn't that everyone wins in that kind of situation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you definitely see it. Like, like you were showing, you were showing the what you get in your free tier. Like some of that stuff, it's usually in like a business case or whatever, but some of that stuff you get like after you start paying. It's usually the free tier is kind of just to kind of get you excited, but then all the stuff you really want to do that can kind of help you get going is behind a paywall. And here it's just like you've got analytics, you've got members, you've got like stuff you just need just to be successful, and that bar of entry isn't that high because it's free, and so people aren't scared to like invest their money yet. They do it, see some success, and then when they want to, they can definitely move forward. So I think, to your point, to your mission of creating that for folks, you guys are accomplishing that. Like it's great, and I really do hope a lot more creators see. Even though you guys have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of creators creating comics, we want more, because this is a tool I've never seen before.
And again, and just a smooth transition from page to page. I mean, for fans who just want to go out there and read and find and discover new indie comics, the transitions that you have there, that I again was looking at and all that, I think the platform smooth, real smooth, and I haven't seen many platforms do that. Again, this is just a testament of what you were doing. It's just fantastic.
Have you seen how that gets set up?
Ooh, I would love that tech demo.
Yeah, why don't we take a look at that? Let me see. I'm gonna use this one. Oh, right. That's the one that's bugged. One moment.
Like I said, you're constantly busy on the Discord, and you're always available for people on the Discord, because again, you guys have the Global Comix Discord too, and the community that you guys have created. So I know you're always working on improving the site. I get the notifications all the time, which is fantastic.
There we go. I'll use one of Eric's demo accounts. The 215 Inc., by the way. I love 215 Inc. so much. They were the first publisher that said yes to Global Comix. They were the first people that took a bet on us. It was back in December of 2019. And they've also said that we can use the first issue of Freaks and Gods when we need to do like demos and videos about how do you use Global Comix? How do you set up creator tools, etc., etc. So thank you so much to them for letting us use some really high quality content to show it off. So this is the view of what it looks like once you drag the PDF in. We didn't go all the way to the end. We kind of aborted the upload after 5 pages, but that's okay. So this interactive reading experience is pretty straightforward for how you set up, right? Like this panel base. Here's the page. It doesn't have any frames yet. You see you have your frames here on the left side, and you can add frames. So I'm going to press F, or I could click this guy over here. And I just kind of like make a little rectangle. And I'll go down to the next panel, and I'll make a little rectangle. I'll go down to the next panel here, and I'll make another rectangle.
Okay.
And I'll do it
That's
again.
very
No fucking way. It's that easy. Like,
And I'll do it like that. And I'll go to this next one. And I'm just going to kind of do something. All of these are actually rectangles. It doesn't really like help me all that much in terms of like showing it off, rather. So hang on. My internet is a little bit slow, I think, because I'm streaming.
It happens, no worries. It happens when you're having fun.
I'll go to the last one here. Okay, so it's still all rectangles, but what I really want to show off here isn't, that you can make rectangles. It's that you can do way more cooler things. And so let's imagine that the top part of this is a single panel, and that you don't want to cut things out, entirely. So what I can do is I can make a rectangle and draw the line between those two speech bubbles on the bottom there. And so now this is the first part of the panel. And here's the second part. However, I want to actually like include this speech bubble and the UI of the first one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this line for a second. go into this one, and I'm gonna just start adding some points on the line. And with these points, I can just kind of like, oh, I want to actually like highlight, you know, this area here. I want to bring the speech bubble into what I'm showing off.
This is so fucking dope.
And all I need to do is kind of like click on the line to add points. So, and then I can just move the points around. And normally I'd spend a little bit more time, because what you're going to see is that like these wide borders don't look very good when it's not, you know, properly gone around. But now if I go to the preview mode, here's what it looks like. So now I can just read. And you can see that this little thing that I cut out on the bottom
That's
here,
cool.
is cut out.
That's very cool. This
That's
very
so fucking cool. Like, what the fuck?
If you can't get excited about that for your comic, I don't know, man. That again, like I said, and it moves, and people just got the demo who want to read comics online to see how easy it is to like actually move through the panels, and then creators now see how easy it is for them to highlight panels in their comic.
Yeah, this is like, and so you built this all from the ground up.
Everything.
Nice. So, and are you
Using
using
coding, man? Like,
Yeah.
that's
are you using anything like to host, or no? Like it's all just
Oh, so we use a data center provider called DigitalOcean. And we have our own kind of virtual data center inside of them.
Nice.
Our tech stack is, you know, it's a Docker containerized, virtualized setup. So when we deploy code, we deploy these like Lego pieces that just replace the previous Lego piece. It's not a matter of, you know, copy files to production or whatever. It's entirely fully set up and automated. When we deploy code, we run 500 and something tests on all of our code to make sure that things haven't broken and like regressed in the wrong places before it's even allowed to go live. And like all of this is being set up, you know, from scratch. Like the code base has been built from scratch, uses PHP in the back end, and you know, there's caching solutions and MySQL and Nginx and all of these kind of like standard tech implementations. And the reading experience is a JavaScript React front end. The reading experience is the only thing that I haven't written myself. Like everything else.
Nice.
Okay, so I want to thank you for coming on and sharing Global Comix, teaching us all about it, getting us to pulling up the curtain, seeing behind the scenes. Again,
awesome.
you guys have to go to the website. It is globalcomix.com. The link is in the description. Chris, again, I just want to thank you for being a part of the show, coming on and sharing this with us. And so this is, and I want to announce, guys, again, we will be live tomorrow for St. Patty's Day. We will have Jared Brown, who has a comic on Global Comix. He will be joining us. Sam Vera from Catch the Craze, and also to Matt Shore, who you remember from Monster Hunter, our Monster Hunter episode, Monster Hunter for Hire. So, Chris, again, thank you for coming on, brother.
Thank you.
And
thank you for having me. And seriously, so sorry for being late.
Listen,
don't need to apologize.
It's fine. Again, thank you guys. So we will see you guys tomorrow.